Hey everybody, this is the week 30 lesson. It's Mr. Shepard coming to you from my kitchen today. Change of scenery, thought you might appreciate that. Also, repping the La Follette Green Club. Let me start this week by saying I hope that you and your families are doing well, staying healthy, staying safe. These are challenging times for sure, so I hope that you're coping well. I'm still struggling with the hair. It's getting really long. Don't know what to do about that. Barbershops aren't open. Thinking about braiding it up myself or chopping it off. I don't know. Also, I've been using my cell phone as a hotspot. The Wi-Fi is not working at my house. So I hope that you're not dealing with anything crazy like that. And I hope that things are as well as they can be for you. This week, we are moving on from meteorology basics to what happens in different circumstances of meteorology. The past 2 weeks, we studied the atmospheric conditions that cause weather, which affects our daily lives. That's why it's important. That's why we study it. However, there are certain events in nature that are associated with meteorology and atmospheric science that impact us on occasion, rarely, but when they do, it's a big deal. These natural hazards are very costly and very disruptive to our society and our way of life. So this week we are going to look at some videos of tornadoes, hurricanes, and flooding. After that, there are 6 questions on the assignment that I'm going to have you complete. Lastly, you're going to have your choice for the second assignment of the week. Keep watching for more details. Let's take a look at this on the left, though. This is really interesting. This is infrared satellite imagery of Hurricane Katrina. You can see the southern United States outlined on the map there, and this hurricane just barreling towards the southern United States from the Gulf of Mexico. Hurricane Katrina affected the US in 2005, and it set the record for the costliest hurricane in global history. $125 billion in damage. That's insane. Like, what? $125 billion. Just think about that for 1 second. So we are going to be studying this and other natural hazards that affect us in Wisconsin. Let's start with the hurricanes. Hurricane Alley is this area in between Africa and North America. Most hurricanes start here, right off the coast of Africa, as small tropical storms. As they move across the Atlantic Ocean, they continue to pick up energy and moisture, and they grow in size until eventually they become large hurricanes that slam into the coasts of the United States, not to mention all of these islands in the Caribbean. These are the states in our country that are most affected by hurricanes. As you can see, the states that line the Gulf of Mexico are most severely affected. Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, these states get the most hurricanes. However, you can also see on the eastern United States, Georgia, the Carolinas, Virginia, even up in New England, they're also affected by hurricanes. So if you ever plan on moving or working in one of these states, you should definitely be aware of the potential impacts of hurricanes and how to prepare yourself for them. You can see the immense damage that can be caused if you're in the line of a hurricane. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This hurricane is moving right through Hurricane Alley from the northern coast of Africa all the way into our southeastern United States. So you're going to be watching videos on hurricanes, which do not affect us in Wisconsin, but are a major disruption year after year in the United States. What does affect us very severely in Wisconsin are tornadoes. This map here, if we interpret what this map means, this tells us the number of tornadoes that are happening in each area of each state. As you can see, Wisconsin is in that area that is severely impacted by tornadoes. Madison would be right around here where my mouse is pointing. The western United States are not really impacted because of the mountains, and there's not really a mixing of cold and warm air like there is in the Great Plains area. Just like how we studied last week and the week before, you all know that warm air is coming up from this region in the Gulf of Mexico. Warm air is coming up here, and it's mixing with cold air that's coming down from Canada and the northern United States. Where these mix, we get huge storms, and these storms result in these tornadoes, which are cyclones of air and condensation that reach from the clouds all the way to the ground. They're very deadly. They are major disruptions to our society. Due to climate change, Tornado Alley is actually shifting eastwards, and Wisconsin is moving right into the path. Well, sorry, Wisconsin's not moving, but Tornado Alley is moving over Wisconsin. So Wisconsin is becoming more and more impacted by tornadoes as climate change worsens. So in the future, this is something that people who live in Wisconsin will have to deal with more and more. Let's take a look at what this map tells us. The blue areas are where we are experiencing fewer tornadoes than average. Texas is still the state that gets the most tornadoes, but they are getting less and less as the years progress. These states here that are outlined in yellow, red, orange, these states are getting more tornadoes than average recently, meaning that the amount of tornadoes is decreasing in the western part of the Great Plains and increasing in the central and eastern part of the Great Plains, where Wisconsin's located. We've already had our first tornado in Wisconsin in 2020. That tornado occurred southwest of Madison. That was on March 30th this year, and it occurred near the Mississippi River near Platteville. Last year in August, we had a really severe tornado up north near Eau Claire in Chippewa County. You can see that on the map here. Here's a picture of the damage. I actually drove my car through this region after it happened. There were so many trees knocked over. There was a lot of houses that were impacted by fallen trees and debris. It's pretty scary, especially if you're not aware of what can happen and you don't know how to prepare. So this week, we are going to learn how to prepare for tornadoes. We're going to learn about the impact that tornadoes can have on our society. And as a result, we will be safer in the future and better equipped to deal with these natural hazards. So on your assignment, you are going to see 3 sections to start. These sections have got one video that's required, 3 to 5 minute video, and 2 to 3 optional videos. These will just help you to be more prepared, be safe when these events occur, and learn more about them. Each section will have that required video outlined in red. As you see here, it says required in red and optional in green if it's not required. The last section will have 6 questions, 2 about tornadoes, 2 about hurricanes, and 2 about flooding that I'll ask you to answer. We're going to do something a little different this week. The last 3 weeks, I've asked you to complete a weekly reflection after you've finished your assignment. You may still do that this week. That can be the second part. So if you choose to do the reflection, you are done. Assignment, reflection, you're done. I appreciate your feedback when you do the reflection. Thank you for that. If you would rather participate in our discussion thread, I'm going to make it titled Wisconsin Tornado Concerns. You do not have to do the reflection then. So choose one of these. I would encourage you to do both, but you're only required to do one. Either the week 30 reflection or you're posting a comment in our discussion thread. If you do one of those, I will give you that grade for the reflection. So you do not have to do the reflection. You can post in the comment section of the discussion thread instead to get your points for the weekly reflection. Sound good? You've got options. All right, one last thing. First of all, this meme is really funny. It's only funny though because students in our class, Earth Science, they never did that, right? We were never packing up early or lining up at the door. You never did that. Okay, so you've got 2 projects to complete by the end of the year. I don't want you to forget. I'm going to keep reminding you. Each of those projects are going to be on a topic that we covered this year. I would prefer you did something for quarter four, but if you want to do something from astronomy or from anything that we've covered in the class so far this year, feel free. These are the requirements for your project. You can also see a description and these requirements linked in this document that I gave you in week 27, 3 weeks ago. The topics that we're going to cover in quarter four, in case you want to plan to do one that we haven't talked about yet, are on this list here. We've talked about, after this week, already the first 5 bullets, flying through this. If you've got questions about anything, the assignment, the discussion thread, the reflection, your project, reach out to me or reach out to Miss Newman. We're here to support you. We want this to be the best experience it possibly can be for you.